The Mario movie is about to hit 1 billion worldwide sales. More exits at Microsoft. A Switch hacker is out of jail. GhostWire is bad on Xbox. Nintendo shows us some indies. Horizon adds some cool accessibility to the DLC. PlayStation increases their pricing on Steam. And a trailer dropped for a game that honestly just looks real. If you like our carpool content, please leave us a like or subscribe. I'm Court Lalonde.
And I'm Seth Sturgill.
The Super Mario Brothers movie has hit sales of $678 million worldwide and is on pace to hit over $1 billion. It's just crazy. It's already the highest grossing video game movie of all time, surpassing Detective Pikachu, which had a total of $449 million worldwide total sales. The movie is still yet to even release in Japan. Okay, I really need to run home. It's not even released in Japan. So they're suggesting this could even surpass the $1 billion mark worldwide. It still amazes me that this is sitting at such a low review score on Rotten Tomatoes, but it also seems to be the norm now that audiences really don't care what reviewers think of a movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this movie, $1 billion is a conservative estimate. I think this movie is going to far surpass $1 billion. Like you said, I mean, the movie doesn't open in Japan until next week, and that is probably going to be the movie's biggest market. So, it's done absolute gangbusters, and it's deservedly so. The movie's great. It deserves to.
Yeah, so let us know in the comments. What do you think of the movie?
But Court, more exits are happening at Microsoft. As reported by Windows Central, Frank O'Connor has now left Microsoft. O'Connor has been working on the Halo franchise since 2004, just another person in a long list who has left since the launch of Halo Infinite. Brendan Lowry spotted this exit via O'Connor's LinkedIn page, and 343 has now confirmed the exit. And of course, just last week, as we reported on the show, Joe Staten left, ended up joining Netflix Games, and others that have left include Tom French, the multiplayer creative director, David Berger, director or engineer, and Bonnie Ross, who is the studio head. Halo Infinite, of course, did not have the best launch, and there's a big shakeup happening at Microsoft. Court, what do you make of this?
I wasn't a big fan of the launch of this game, and I thought it was left open and empty, but you had those purist Halo fans that were like, no, the game is great, but I've recommended this and the Xbox to a lot of friends, and they're like, well, I love the Xbox and I love Game Pass, but this Halo game just isn't it. And we've seen that a lot. Pretty much since the release of Halo 3, we've seen Halo games that just haven't hit it. So, you know what? I see this as a good thing. Maybe it's just time. Sometimes the message and the voice just no longer has any more impact, and maybe they just need somebody else to right the ship, because Halo is one of the biggest franchises in the world, and this IP to me is just being wasted.
Yeah. I mean, look, these are huge people at this studio leaving. The studio head is leaving. So, I think that a lot of them are just kind of done with it. They're like, cool, the ship has sailed. We're on to greener pastures. Obviously, wish them all the best in their new endeavors. Of course, we, again, know that Joe Staten landed at Netflix. He's apparently working on a new IP over there, so that's cool. We'll see where everybody else winds up as well. In the wake of this massive shakeup. But Court, this is another kind of Mario adjacent story. Bowsah is out of jail. That's right, Bowsah. Of course, I'm not referring to the Bowsah, the king of the Koopas. I'm referring to Gary Bowsah, who was jailed back in 2020, part of a hacking team called Team Executor. The hacking team made illegal ROMs of Nintendo games, including Nintendo Switch games. And Bowsah will now have to start paying back the $14.5 million he owes, to which he has paid a whopping $175 of. He'll be forced to pay Nintendo 30% of his income for the rest of his life. Bowsah, the name, I think, really just carries the bad guy implications, and well, now he's having to pay the price, I guess.
Yeah, this story actually, when I saw it and I'm doing up our thing, I'm just like, oh my God, the guy's name is Bowsah. It's just, come on, man. He should have just realized as soon as he started doing this, hacker group, that it was over for them. I just find this funny. Nintendo is not getting any of their money back, but this is another story 2 weeks in a row where Nintendo's like, yeah, we're not letting you get away with anything. Nintendo wants their money and they'll figure out a way to do it because this guy now is owned by Nintendo.
Oh yeah. Yeah, litigious company. They don't play, and it is funny because, like, the head of Nintendo of America, Doug Bowsah, this hacker, Gary Bowsah. You never know what's going on with these Bowsers, man.
Jesus, they're going after Peach.
That's right.
Honestly, can't get that song out of my head. It won't leave. Well, another Xbox first-party game actually runs better on PS5. GhostWire Tokyo has launched on the Xbox series of consoles, and according to Digital Foundry, runs better on the PS5 than the Xbox Series X or S. Digital Foundry has been quoted as saying the Series S version of the game is a bit of a mess. In an article on VGC written by Jordan Midler, Digital Foundry explains the situation that the ray tracing reflections are somewhat lower quality. There are shadow alignment bugs with the ray tracing shadows. Resolutions are pretty similar for the most part, but the quality mode has moderately lower resolution than the PlayStation 5. It looks like, and performance is typically 5 to 10% lower than the PlayStation 5 when comparing the same screen. I know I'm doing a whole bunch of like nerd talk, but just stick with me here. Digital Foundry did say the game has had its issues on the PS5, but nothing compared to the Xbox. We saw the same thing happen when Deathloop, when it finally released on the Xbox. Both of these games were in early development far before Xbox purchased the studios which were making them. But these games were also supposed to be PS5 launch exclusives, and they were. I don't want to speculate, but I really think there's something fishy here. We saw a lot of stuff legally saying that PlayStation is doing this, and these are all conjecture and just rumors, but there were rumors saying that PlayStation was purposely going out there and asking studios to make their version of the game better.
I mean, it could be something like that. It could honestly like just be as simple
I don't think it is, but these are just rumors.
Right.
I'm just jarring the conversation, stirring it up a little bit.
Stirring the pot. Stirring the pot of gumbo down here in Louisiana court. I think that honestly, for me, I'm like, if you're developing something for PS5 as a PS5 exclusive, those infrastructures are different. Making a game on PS5 is different from making a game on Xbox. So if all of a sudden you have to port your game over to Xbox, yeah, that port's probably not going to be as good as the thing you were developing it for at the core, So this doesn't super surprise me in both cases, to be honest.
Yeah, you look at what Sony's been doing with their PC ports. They pretty much have had one good one, and the rest are like, meh. So we'll see.
We'll see. But in our next story, Nintendo, of course, held its Indie World Showcase this week, and we're going to go quickly over some of the highlights. Minico's Night Market opened up the show, finally got a release date of September 26th. That game has been in development for like 6 years, so it was nice to finally see a release date on that. Rift of the Necrodancer was confirmed for Switch. It was announced last year, but it was confirmed for Switch, and it's coming later this year. They showed DLC for Cult of the Lamb, the Relics of the Old Gods. It was shown off, and that's coming in just a few days at this point. Animal Well, which was revealed for PS5 at the last Annapurna showcase, now confirmed for Nintendo Switch. And then last thing I want to highlight here, one of my most anticipated games of the year, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, is coming August 18th. So this Indie World Showcase, they do these every 4 or 5 months or so, and it's about 20 minutes in length. Check it out for yourself if you want to see everything announced or some cool stuff. But Court, did you anything jump out at you from this?
Didn't check it out at all. I'm not even gonna lie. This is Nintendo Switch, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. This is your world, Seth.
Yeah.
This is just it's like I feel like Aladdin in this one. It's just a whole new world to me anytime I look at these Nintendo showcases. It's just too many consoles, there's too many games, and I just don't have time for all of them.
That's why I got me here.
A game that I do have time for, Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores DLC is here, and I've been playing it thanks to our friends over at PlayStation Canada. PlayStation First Party has been a leader when it comes to accessibility options, and their new DLC that dropped for Horizon Forbidden West also came with a patch that is for the mainline game and the DLC with new accessibility options. Now, I am going to really royally screw up my pronunciation of this word, but thalassophobia, which I didn't even know it was a word until the DLC dropped, is the fear of drowning. And now in Horizon, you don't have to drown. So anytime you're in that, you can actually click off so that your character, Aloy, cannot drown in the game, which is honestly kind of cool because this DLC is pretty much all water with a little bit of land. There's a lot of water involved. So for me, I clicked it right away because let's be honest here, I play every game on baby mode. So anything that can make the gameplay easier, I do it. They've also added enlarging subtitles, auto pickup, one of another option that I use right away, which is awesome.
Great.
Color blindness settings, auto camera, which what it's saying by auto camera is you can actually do the focus and you can actually assist on navigation, and also at the same time will automatically make it so that you only have to use the one stick to move, because the camera will actually follow with you instead of like using both sticks. So for stuff like this on the auto camera, it's greater for those younger gamers that are still trying to get used to using two sticks. These features are not just for the DLC, as I said, and they are available in the mainline game as well. I played a majority of the game and will say the added features are welcome, and I've turned majority of them on. But let me know in the comments, are these something that you like? Is this a good thing that PlayStation continues to do this with their first party studios? Let us know.
Yeah, man. Accessibility, always a good thing for me, Court. I love accessibility options. This is really, really cool. But speaking of PlayStation, PlayStation is increasing their pricing on games on Steam in select regions. So let's talk about this. With record sales being reported this week for PS5 on pace to surpass lifetime sales of the PS4, Sony has decided to raise pricing on the Steam games because, you know, who doesn't need more money? As with any price increase, the United States will not see any, but their neighbors to the north will see one because of course. I am sorry about that, Court.
Honestly, they just things cost a lot of money here.
Tom Ivan from VGC reports, as first spotted by Resetera user Chairman Chuck, the prices of Sackboy: A Big Adventure and Returnal have been increased this week in countries including Argentina, Canada, Chile, China, Colombia, Japan, and South Korea. The price increase varies by country and title. In Canada, the price of all 4 games has been upped by $10, representing 14.5% to 17% increases based on their starting price. In Sony's home country of Japan, the prices of the games have risen by between approximately 29% and 32.5%. It's still a puzzling strategy to spread out price increases across the world, but to leave the US market out, no word from Sony yet as to why this is happening. You know, the US economy probably has at least something to do with this, but it's still weird that like
not enough, like
not that much.
To be totally honest, as someone that works in an industry that works based on what's going on in the economy, this is unexplainable, especially because these are digital assets.
Right. Yep.
Like it just makes no sense to me, and it actually gets my blood boiling because I remember I'm an old gamer and they used to always bring out like on IGN and such and explain the cost of a game when it went up, and they always use the physical version as the reason why costs have gone up. Well, digital sales are going through the roof and I don't buy physical at all, yet for some reason they want to charge me $10 more for the digital version of a game. Your costs don't go up on the digital side. Mm-hmm. There's no costs that went up. So I don't like this. I'm not a fan of this. And I think it's rather telling that when they only hit certain regions and leave the United States out, they did this with the price increase on the PS5. And now they're doing this with the price increase on the games.
Yeah, why isn't it a blanket thing? Why isn't it a blanket price increase? You know, and it's weird that it's scaling. I mean, in Japan, for the prices to go up nearly like between 29 and 32.5%, like that's wild. That's a huge price increase.
You know, what went up on the digital side?
Yeah, it got more expensive to produce those digital codes, Court. That's what it was.
It's real tough. So, in other news, we came across a game that I had to talk about. We don't usually talk about stuff like this on Carpool, but a trailer for a game called Unrecorded has hit the internet, and it's caused a stir on how realistic this game looks. Mm-hmm. The game is developed by an indie studio called Drama, which is a French studio. The footage shows a police officer entering a building, taking out the bad guys as he walks around. It's all body cam footage. It's the first person, but it sparked controversy as it looks unbelievably real, and there's a lot of speculation that it isn't real. Like when you first start watching this trailer, it looks like actual body cam footage of police officers walking into a house. Currently, right now, it has 1.1 million views on YouTube. So this studio is getting a ton of press from this.
Yeah, it looks real. I mean, it literally looks real. Like, I don't really know. It's supposed to be a single player FPS experience. So, you know, I don't really know what like the story of it is supposed to be. You don't really get a sense of that. It kind of looks like a proof of concept, like a tech demo or something. But I mean, in terms of the fidelity of it, it is impressive. I mean, like, it looks so realistically rendered. And you know what? I'm surprised that they're like working on a game like this in a sort of very contentious time politically for police officers and body cam footage and stuff like that. So I think they were always going to get controversy with this game just because of the game it is. But I mean, like, look, you can't deny the technical fortitude of what they have there.
Well, it's also a little telling that when you go into the house, the faces are blurred of the enemies, or I guess criminals or whatever we're assuming. So maybe that, because I'm still in the camp right now that this isn't real, and there's some of it is digital and the rest of it isn't. But I would suggest everyone go check this out and let us know in the comments. Like, is this real?
Yeah, check it out. There are a couple parts where I was like he kicked open the door and I was like, okay, that looked like a video game animation. But there, you know, for the most part though, it looks pretty seamless. So I don't know. Go watch it for yourself. Let us know in the comments what you thought of it.
That was another episode of Carpool Weekly. We hope you enjoyed and found the information informative. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like, drop a subscribe, and let us know in the comments what you think of it.
We'll see you next week, guys. Bye.